You are trying to run 50 Instagram accounts for clients, and they keep dying in batches. The content is fine, the accounts are fine, but Instagram has already worked out they are the same operator, and one strike takes the whole set down. I want to show you how to actually keep 50 accounts separate without tripping the linkage flags. I run a hardware proxy farm in Singapore. Real phones, real SIM cards from Singtel, M1, and StarHub. I watch thousands of accounts log in through these IP addresses every day. So I'm not guessing about what Instagram flags. I am telling you what happens on the wire. Before I go further, let me be clear about who this is for. This is for agencies, creators, and social media managers who run legitimate accounts that happen to belong to one operator. A salon with 3 storefronts, a creator with a main and 2 niche pages, an agency holding accounts for a dozen clients. The goal is to keep accounts that are legitimately separate from being wrongly merged into one cluster. It is not about spam, and a proxy will not save you if that is what you are doing. Let me start with the thing most videos get wrong. The proxy is not the answer to running many accounts. The proxy is one layer of maybe 5. If you fix the IP and ignore everything else, you will still lose accounts, and you will blame the proxy when the proxy was doing its job. So here is how Instagram actually links accounts, because you cannot defend against a system you do not understand. It watches 5 things, and any one of them can tie 2 accounts together. The first signal is the IP address. It is the cheapest and strongest signal Instagram has, because it sees it on every single request before you even type a password. Accounts that share an IP get grouped, full stop. The second signal is the device, and the third is the browser fingerprint. Through the app, it sees the model, the operating system build, and hardware identifies. Through a desktop, it reads your user agent, screen size, fonts, time zones, and the output of a hidden canvas test, which hashes into something close to unique per machine. 2 accounts reporting the same device or the same fingerprint are an obvious pair. The fourth signal is behavior. Follow and unfollow velocity, posting cadence, what hours you are active, how you scroll, and whether dozens of accounts move in lockstep. This is the hardest one to fake because it requires acting like a real distinct person. The fifth signal is shared details. The same recovery email, the same phone number, the same contacts uploaded across accounts, even the same payment method on ads. These quietly stitch accounts together in ways operators forget about. When enough of these line up, Instagram decides the accounts are one person and treats them as a cluster. And once it is a cluster, one strike on any account cascades to all of them. That is why you lose a whole batch overnight instead of one account. So the first rule is simple. If 50 accounts all log in from one address, that is not 50 people. And real humans do not share an IP with 49 strangers who all post at the same times. Do not stack all 50 accounts on one IP. Now people overcorrect and ask the opposite question. Do I need 50 separate IP addresses for 50 accounts? Not necessarily, and this is where judgment matters more than a blanket rule. You have 2 same patterns, and which one you pick depends on how valuable each account is. The first pattern is small clusters. You put a handful of low-value accounts behind one sticky IP, the way a small office or a household shares one mobile connection. 3 or 4 accounts on a clean carrier IP looks completely normal, because that is exactly what a real shared line looks like. The key word in that pattern is small. 3 is fine, 4 is fine, but 15 accounts on one IP is a farm, and Instagram has seen 10,000 farms shaped exactly like that. The moment the density gets unnatural, the cluster lights up. The second pattern is one carrier IP per account, and that is what you want for your high-value accounts. The client account that pays the bills, the brand account you cannot afford to lose, that one gets its own dedicated line. It never shares, and it never moves, so if anything else in your operation trips, that account is not in the blast radius. So for 50 accounts, a realistic split might be 10 high-value accounts on their own dedicated lines, and the other 40 in small clusters of 3 or 4. You are not buying 50 IP addresses, but you are also not stacking everything on one. You are spreading risk the way it actually needs spreading. Now let me explain why a clean carrier IP beats a flagged data center IP, because this is the part that decides everything. A data center IP belongs to a server company. Instagram knows no real person browses from a rented box in a data center. So even with one account on it, the IP itself is a red flag before you do anything. A real mobile carrier IP is different. When your traffic exits on a Singtel or M1 or StarHub line, Instagram sees a Singapore mobile carrier, a network that is mostly real people on their phones. To the platform, you are just one more person on mobile data, which is the most ordinary thing in the world. Carriers also share one public IP across thousands of subscribers using something called CDNet, so your account blends into a crowd of real users instead of standing alone. And that blending is the whole reason a few accounts can sit behind one mobile IP safely. The platform cannot punish that IP without punishing thousands of innocent subscribers on the same address. And the clean line matters as much as a real one. A flagged data center IP is one that other operators already burned running spam, so you inherit their history the second you log in. A dedicated carrier IP has no one else's behavior attached to it. Clean and real beats dirty and convenient every time. Itchem visiting pihak tertidisit. Here is the layer people skip. The IP is only half of an identity. The other half is the device or browser fingerprint. If you run 10 clean lines but log into all 10 accounts from one browser on one machine, Instagram reads the same fingerprint 10 times and links them straight back together. You undid the proxy with one browser. So each account gets its own anti-detect browser profile with its own distinct fingerprint, paired permanently to its own IP, account, profile, line, locked together as one unit, and you never run account 3 through account 7's profile or line. The reason the pairing has to be permanent is consistency. A real person uses the same phone and the same connection every day, so the fingerprint and the IP for a given account should stay consistent forever. An account whose fingerprint or IP keeps changing looks less like a real human than one that never moves at all. While you are setting up that profile, line up the obvious details so the identity agrees with itself. Set the time zones to Singapore, set the language and locale to match, and make sure your DNS resolves through the tunnel so it does not leak your real location. An IP that says Singapore with a browser that quietly says New York time is a contradiction. Instagram checks for. Now warming, because a clean IP and a clean fingerprint do not make an account trusted. Trust is built from a history of human-looking activity. A brand new account that immediately follows 200 people and posts 5 times looks like exactly what it is. So warm it instead. For the first week or two, the account scrolls, watches, likes a few things, and behaves like a person who just downloaded the app. Then it starts posting slowly and only ramps up over the following weeks. Patience here is far cheaper than rebuilding the account from zero. And you have to warm them like humans, not like a script. The single biggest tell at scale is synchronized behavior. If all 50 accounts wake up at 9 in the morning, follow the same accounts in the same order, and post within the same minute, Instagram does not need your IP to catch you. The pattern catches you. So stagger your sessions across the day, vary the actions, and let each account keep its own rhythm. Real people are not synchronized, and the moment your accounts move in perfect lockstep, the cluster is obvious no matter how clean every individual IP is. Which brings me to the worst habit I see, and it is a one-click mistake. Do not log into dozens of profiles from one machine on one IP just because it is convenient at the end of a long day. That single afternoon of switching between accounts on your home connection links every account you touch to one device and one address. Your real home IP is the thread that ties everything back to one person, which is you. It does not matter that you switched back to the proxies the next day, because the link does not expire. Treat your real connection as radioactive for account work, and never let an account fall back onto it when a proxy drops. Let me also settle sticky versus rotating, because for this job it is not close. You want sticky sessions, where the IP holds steady for that account through a whole session. A real phone keeps roughly the same address while someone browses. Rotation, where the IP changes on every request, is built for scraping. On an Instagram account, it makes you look like you teleported across the city in the middle of a scroll, which is a flag, not a feature. So sticky matters far more than rotation here. And if you are getting strange challenges on what you think is a clean IP, check that you are not accidentally on a rotating pool. Now the honest part, because I would rather you trust me than buy from me. A proxy does not save spammy behavior. If you blast direct messages to strangers, mass follow and unfollow all day, run in human automation, or post garbage at machine speed, you will get banned on a perfect Singapore mobile IP. The reason is simple. The proxy fixes the network signal only and removes the IP red flag from your setup. It does not touch the behavior signal, and behavior is the one layer Instagram trusts the most because it is the hardest to fake. So think of it as layers stacked on each other. The IP is the foundation. The device fingerprint, the warming, and the human pacing are the house you build on top of it. If the foundation is a data center IP, the house falls no matter how careful you are everywhere else. If the foundation is a clean mobile IP, but you act like a bot, the house falls anyway. You genuinely need every layer right at the same time. Here is the do and the do not, boiled down. Do give every high-value account its own clean line and its own fingerprint. Keep clusters small and warm everything slowly. Do not share your real IP, do not synchronize 50 accounts, and do not expect any proxy to rescue behavior that looks automated. If you want the foundation right, that is exactly what I sell. Real Singapore mobile IP addresses from my own farm on Real Singtel, M1, and StarHub SIMs. Sticky sessions you control, and DNS that routes through the tunnel so you stop leaking your real resolver. One clean line per high-value account and small clusters for the rest. There is a free trial at singaporemobileproxy.com/client/trial, and the code YT30 gets you a discount. Wire one account onto a clean Singapore line, run the verification, and watch it hold before you scale the whole set. There, die Konzept beyond this in Tinder.